What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Paul with Stud Pack here with my son Jordan. A lot of you have been with us since the garage build, right? And a lot of you are new and have been with us since the house build. But today we're actually going to connect the two buildings together, start the process by building the bridge. Really excited about that. And I've had like 3 years to try to figure out that connection, but I still haven't figured it out. I have a few other things on my mind. So come up on the scaffold with us and let's figure it out together. All right, guys, so what's this bridge gonna look like? What is the goal? First thing, we're gonna have a beam here and a beam over here connecting the two buildings. And then short joists across, a subfloor, a wall on each side with a window in the back looking at the backyard and a window in the street side looking that way. And then of course a roof, an enclosed bridge, right? Comfortable air-conditioned bridge. And that roof will also connect both buildings. It's gonna be awesome. Once the bridge is built, we're going to be able to get all these utilities and connect the two buildings together. Of course, we got our water line. This is actually power for the main building. This is an emergency circuit for the main building. One of these is smoke detectors because they all got to be interconnected, right? And the other one is for a light switch. So you have a switch on either side of the bridge and turn the light on. We had to think of all of this like 2 years ago. So our first goal today is to start on the beams. Now, when we framed the garage, there's a big rim joist right behind here, right? And we actually doubled it up. So when we screw in the hardware for our beams, we have 3 inches of material. So we don't have to pad that out now. We thought about it 2 years ago. But the subfloor on the bridge has to perfectly line up with the subfloor in the garage, so there's no step, no threshold, no transition. So we need to know exactly where the subfloor is behind this siding right here. So that's where we're gonna start. I got our buzzsaw down there. We're gonna cut out a little section, cut out this little metal flashing, and then go on kind of a exploratory surgery. Find that subfloor without cutting a big hole in the zip. Let's get going. I'm just gonna go for it, bud.
That's all you can do.
Yep. All right, so I made a cut here, and I'm just gonna pull out this piece all the way to that joint. We know we're gonna have some repairs to make, but we wanna minimize it. Yeah, that was easy. Zip tape, look at that.
This is weird.
Yeah, it is weird. It's like undoing what we did, right? It's exactly what we're doing. All right, let's take this piece out, and then I wanna take out this metal flashing. All right, there we go. So we know our subfloor is somewhere around here because all of these are coming through underneath, right? So I think I'm gonna get the hole saw. Well, look at this, Jordan. There's a row of nails right there. I bet that is the
top of the rim board.
Or the bottom plate on the wall. This is probably the bottom plate on the wall, and these are probably the rim board. So why don't we start high? I'm trying not to get into this part because I want that to kind of stay, right? I don't want to damage the zip that's going to stay on the building, but we know this zip is eventually going to be removed, and we can always patch that with some tape so water is not getting into your wall. So let's go downstairs, grab some tools, and start cutting open this zip and finding that sill plate and the Advantech subfloor. So let's see if I can find it on the first try. See how well my memory is. See how good my memory is. Okay, all right, we were right. There's the sill plate, so a little farther down should be the Advantech. That's it, I'm gonna go a little more. All right, that was pretty easy. So there's the bottom plate of the wall, and of course the wall is sitting on the Advantech right there. So our new piece of Advantech is gonna go right here, lining up with the piece in the garage. So that kind of gives us our height this way of where our framing needs to be, but now we need to know how wide is it gonna be. And you see this fiberglass insulation right there? The reason that is fiberglass is because we already framed in this opening. In other words, there's a header up there, and we threw some studs in there, just temporary.
I don't think we did.
Oh, maybe not.
Yeah.
I think you're right. We just spanned across it with the drywall.
Yep.
And we put fiberglass insulation in the opening so it's easy to remove and we're not fighting the spray foam. So I think what we need to do now, Jordan, we can either do it from the outside or we can do it from the inside. We got to find the edges of those walls so we know where to put our beams because the bridge is going to be as wide as that opening.
Right. So how do you want to do that?
Let's come back when we have a plan.
Okay.
All right, guys, back with a plan. Here's what we're gonna do. If there are truly no studs in that wall, I should be able to shove something to the left and something to the right all the way till I hit the jack studs that are holding up the header. And what is that something? It's all I had, some of this Romex that we got from the Home Depot. So let me start right here. All right, I'll put my thumb there as a mark, come out, Boom, right there. And that should be the left-hand edge of the opening. And we'll do the same thing going towards the right. I know it's not exact, but pretty close, right?
That looks right. That looks like what we did 2 years ago.
Yeah, and it looks good because we centered this opening over the door on the first floor, and then the door behind Jordan on the first floor is also in line with this door. All part of the master plan, right? So why don't we cut back this piece, and we'll cut another hole here and find the edge of that jack stud, and we'll do the same thing over there, and that'll give us the width of our opening, and we know the height of our opening, or the height of the deck, and that will allow us to lay out the 2 brackets for the beams on this side, and then we transfer them to the other side. All right, guys, got that side done. Now, this piece of flashing right here is very important, right? If you saw the garage build, we put this between every joint. So if water, for example, gets by this joint in here, it's gonna hit that flashing and run out, catch our metal, at least on the first course, and go right out of the building. So really important, but it's in my way, and it's got 2 nails in it up here. So let's see if I can just use this little guy and cut them off. All right, guys, here's the inside of this jack on the left, and then over there you can see the one on the right. So that's the width of our bridge. So our wall is going to tie into it just like this. Imagine in between my 2 fingers is our wall tying into the building. Directly under that wall is our beam. This wall is going to be a 2x6 wall. Just keep it in theme with everything else, right? More insulation, all the good stuff you get with 2x6s. So we're going to come from here, 5.5 over to the left, make a mark all the way down on this 1x12 trim as well. And we're going to remove all that, and we do the same thing on the right-hand side. Now I know we probably got to come a little more to put up the siding and trim boards and all that. We'll do that later. I just want to take out as little as I can to minimize repairs later. So it's going to be a lot of cutting, a lot of noise, a lot of dust. So we're going to mask up, suit up, and make all these cuts, and we'll be right back. All right, guys. Took off my mask because I'm pretty much done with it now. Put on my old hat. So speaking of this hat, this was my going out hat, right? I had Dad work in one hat and Dad written in my going out for steak hat. This one got trashed too. So I got 3 new ones on the way from bunkerbranding.com. They should be in my mailbox tonight on my front porch. So if you're looking for some stud pack merch, bunkerbranding.com, we'll put a link below. So we're good to go over here. We exposed the bottom of our 1 1/8 inch Advantech subfloor right here, and we set up the laser line on the bottom of that so that the laser line represents the top of our framing. So when we put the Advantech on top of the framing, it perfectly flushes out right here. We got our Klein laser attached to our steel framing square. I use this trick a lot. Just drilled a couple of holes and I can mount this anywhere, and then the magnet, of course, will stick to it. If you have an aluminum framing square, you're going to be out of luck. You got to get a steel one or use something else for that. And of course, we also got our laser line on this side, so while we have it set up, we'll mark this with a pencil line so we know where the tops of the beams go on this side as well. So we're real close to putting up the brackets, very close. So it's simply going to go right here. We do have to trim this board and batten panel a little bit because of the height or depth of our beam. So let me go get the brackets and let's lay everything out. A little bit more cutting to do, and we can actually mount these 2 brackets. And here are our brackets, guys. A concealed flange hanger. This is a Simpson HUCQ412. And this is a concealed flange hanger. In other words, the flanges turn in instead of going out. If they were to turn out, we would have had to cut more of this to put the screws out here, and potentially those screws are going to get in the way of us trimming out the building. But like this, all the screws are going to be behind the beam. Yeah, we got these right there, but we can easily deal with those. So I went and put these on our 2 LVLs, and they are 1.75 inches thick. Add those together, 2 at 1.75 inches, you get 3.5. So that 412 right there, that tells you this is for a 4x12 dimensional lumber, which is 3.5 thick. So it works great with our 2 LVLs because they're also 3.5 thick. So we set up our laser 11.25 below our subfloor right there. Check that out. There you go. And I put this on our beam, and I took a measurement from the top of the LVL to the bottom of the bracket. Now all we got to do is come over here, line up the bottom of the bracket with our laser beam, and screw it to the building, and we're good to go. We'll do this one, then we'll do that one, and we're ready for the other side. All right, first fastener on the bridge. We're building a bridge. Finally, after 3 years. This is crazy. Let's put a screw in every one of these holes in the back, and we'll put that one on. Man, it's a lot of screws. All right, for our next trick, we have to come across perfectly square. So let's figure that out. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we transferred our marks from that wall to this wall, and they are perfectly square. Here's how we did it. I got my framing square over here. Sorry, I'm gonna put my back towards you for a second. And we set our 8-foot level. Remember, we're just over 8 feet wide, because remember that telehandler fit in here, right? So the 8-foot level works
nice.
great.
I mean, everything's working.
Everything's working great. And then we used the framing square on the building, right? And we knew this was going to be rough, but that gave us that line right there. And we did the same thing on this side. And then we checked diagonals, right? If it's square, the diagonals should be the same. And we were off. We were off by 1/2 inch. Pretty close. So we moved the line over to right here, and then we were off by 1/8. So then this solid line, this boulder line right there, all the way on the left, is the line that we're going to. That's perfectly square with the building. And of course, we got one on Jordan's side as well. So now we're ready for our brackets. And all along, I had been thinking we were going to have to add blocking above this door. But actually, this bracket is in the great room, and that bracket is in the laundry room. So it's actually going to make adding blocking a lot easier. Maybe just a stud on the flat to hold all that weight, right? The other thing we're thinking about is we got foam behind here, right? When we put these big screws in there, we got a couple issues with the foam. The screws aren't going to be long enough, and I got that foam in there, which is kind of bugging me. So what we're going to do, we're actually going to cut the zip out where the bracket goes and the beam goes, make a little beam pocket, and screw our brackets directly to our blocking. That way we don't have to worry about the foam. And then before we put our beam in, of course, we'll seal all that, all the edges of that beam pocket with some zip tape and make it nice and airtight. So let's cut out these pockets and install some blocking on the other side. Get these brackets up. Whew. All right, I'm gonna pull that nail out. So this is a trick. It's not really a trick, but a lot of people don't know that that's what that is for right there. Watch this, guys. Put it over the nail. Well, it's harder because of the foam. It's just bouncing. Never mind. I'll show you that on another time. But that's to give you a little recess around the nail. I might have gotten it. So you can drive that in. There we go. It's still weird seeing that foam behind all our stuff, huh? Oh, look at that. Pretty good. Yeah, we'll just add a 2x6 right here, all the way to the slab.
Right on.
Yep. All right, let's go over there and see what's behind door number 2. Oh,
all right.
All right. So our double top plates on our first floor wall and the end of a truss, right? So a little blocking here and a little blocking there. Now when I say a little blocking, of course this block is going to go all the way to the slab. So the load on this beam is being transferred all the way to the slab. And of course we just need a little block here because then the load will be on the top plates and then to the slab. All right guys, going to put a 2x4 right there. We said we were going to use a 2x6, but the screws aren't even long enough for that. So 2x4 is going to be fine. All right, we got the 2x6s on that side to support the bracket, and on this side, remember the old king post that I messed up on for the gable end wall? Well, we're repurposing it. And I know the wood's looking kind of like gray now because it's been sitting outside, but it is fine. So we got a good fit right there. I'm simply going to toenail it at the bottom and the top, and then we got a little block we need to put above the trusses. All right guys, we got our blocking on both sides all the way down to our foundation, so feel really good about our blocking and transferring the load of the bridge down to our foundation on both sides. So now, since we cut open our air barrier and our water barrier, I just want to seal around here. We thought about using some tape, but man, this Lexel is awesome. I'm just going to put it on the whole thing, dude. What do you think?
Yeah.
And then I can just spread it. But I think I'm going to go put it on that one first and then come back and spread it, and then I can take off my gloves. We've got our LVLs cut, and these are 11 inches tall. Jordan's up on the scaffold. Brackets are fastened, sealed, leveled, square. Eagle bud, bridge part. Oh, hold on, we cut it long. Well, we cut it bolt to bolt, so we may have trouble getting it in there. He's gonna give it a shot.
Man, that's tough. Let's just trim it.
Okay. Hey, camera lady, can you hand me the circular saw and the square, please?
You in?
Yep.
Me too.
Nice. All right.
Bridge.
Yep, can you go all the way over? There you go.
Boom.
Sweet.
I was about to say, that does not look square, but it's because the scaffolding is all diagonal.
Yep.
Right?
All right, let me see your hammer, please. Oh, I got mine.
That looks weird. Wait, what the heck? It's throwing me off. Sighting down it, does that look square to the building?
No. Did we go on the wrong side? Oh, you did.
Oh.
I did.
No. Dang it! All right.
Yeah, I'll need more blocking up top and the bottom. Crap.
Okay.
All right, let's cut the other one of these and put it in.
Okay. And we'll start there tomorrow.
So it should be 98.
98.
All right, guys, we're back on site the next day, and the last clip of the last little part of the video, it was a little discouraging when we quit work last night because I'm sure a bunch of you saw I made this little beam pocket on the wrong side of the line. I'm sure you were screaming at your TV. I wish I could have heard you, but anyway, we fixed it.
I mean, the X was on camera. Like, right where you were supposed to cut was...
Yeah, and nobody said anything. Come on, guys, you gotta let me know. What's up? I feel like I've been making mistakes like that more often, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm getting just older or too much on my mind. I don't know.
Yeah.
You gotta let me concentrate sometimes, dude. All right, so we moved the beam inside. We added more blocking up here to the right, and so we just cut out this little section of zip, and we moved it over there. So I'm gonna zip tape it now, and then we're ready to put in this beam. We're gonna have a bridge by the end of the day,
yeah.
I promise you. All right, guys, there's our last bracket. Now, we didn't mention this, but those were $50 each. Sorry,
Wait,
son.
what?
Yeah, sorry about that, but I had to use them. Can you imagine the trouble we would have gone through with a traditional bracket with the flanges turned out? So, $200, sorry, I didn't tell you. So that one's all set, all screwed off into our post, into our blocking, Lexelled. So I'm gonna head to the front porch, grab that other LVL. We'll build the beam for the other side of the bridge. Okay, I'm in. Nice. Sweet. Woo, that's a great feeling. We got both beams in. Now we still have to screw them together, but first, this bridge is a lot wider than we thought it was going to be. It is 5'8" outside to outside. So by the time we put up our 2x6 walls, about 4'8" interior dimensions, something like that. I think there's even room for a little bench in here so Jordan can do some reading in the bridge. What do you think, bud?
Yep.
All right, so now we're gonna pop a line 2 inches down from the top, 2 inches down from the bottom on these, lay out, bolt these together, and then we're gonna screw them to our brackets right here, and then we start building the floor. Yeah, let's give it a test shake. Oh man, these two buildings are connected together permanently. Love it. Woo! All right, guys, moving forward on the bridge, we actually got 4 pieces of dimensional lumber in. Let me show you what each one of them are. So full 2x8. This is a ledger on the side. It'll catch the edge of our bridge deck. And it is nailed into the top plates of this wall and the ends of the trusses and our blocking for the beams. This one over here, it's kind of the same thing. We rip the 2x8 to 4 inches to make room for all our utilities underneath. And it is nailed a bunch into that double rim joist right behind here. So it is really solid. Jordan said it's like hitting a tree when you knock on this. And then these two 2x4s right here, that's a ledger for our 2x8 floor joist. They're just gonna sit on top, and then we're gonna toe nail it. And we made the distance from the top of the beam to the top of the ledger 7 inches because the 2x8s we bought vary in width from 7 to 7 1/4. So we're gonna cut them to length, rip them all at 7 so we have a nice flat top. Now, before we do that, I just gotta finish nailing this guy off. This ledger is gonna make it easy for us to put in these joists and take some of the weight. Cool, let's go rip some floor joists. All right, guys, we went ahead and threw our joist up here on the bridge. Went ahead and framed it. Sorry we didn't video that for you. But you've seen us do that plenty of times, 16 inches on center. And now, while we're waiting on our Advantech to show up from Builder's First Source, we just threw a piece of the Sienna zip up here as a work platform. And I actually want to make a really big step. We're going to cut the opening into the bridge wall into the house. And check this out, guys. Milwaukee hooked me up with an M18 router, and this thing is really well designed. Look at that. I can put my hand there, Velcro adjustable strap, and this is plastic, so I won't get my hand burned like on my other router. Remember how I had to cool it off? And my thumb sits right there, and the power switch, really convenient, right there for my thumb, depth control, all that good stuff on there. So I got my bit on there. Let me get my mask on. And then Jordan and I went upstairs and I shoved a screwdriver through, so that's right near the stud on this side. So I'll push that out and start routing in a clockwise direction. And we're gonna have an opening here in about 2 minutes. I think I need a ladder, bud. You got me?
Yeah.
Woo! Nice, Jordan. Got a bridge, dude. Whoa. Yeah, man. 2 steps right here, you're golden. It's like a foot. 2 6-inch steps.
Nice.
All right, let's clean up. And this router did awesome, guys. The bit is worn out because it's done the whole house, but man, that is so nice not having to pull around a cord. All right, let's clean up. All right, guys, we're all cleaned up there, and we were waiting on the Advantech for the floor and our studs for the walls, and look what just showed up. Can't time it any better than that.
All right, guys, BFS just dropped off our lumber, and check it out. We got our Advantech. Dad is ready to cut the first sheet. We're ready to deck this thing, baby. 64 inches, Dad.
64.
Ready?
I'm ready. We
we
got
go.
our Advantech glue. Our goal today is to get this decked, and that'll be easy, and then actually get the walls built. Feel strong, Jordan?
It feels it feels so strong.
This is awesome, man.
So cool.
Been thinking about this for so long, and we're doing it in one day.
I know. It's been like 4 years coming or something like that.
Yeah. I think we can do this right here. I can drop my side here, and you got that corner, right?
I got it.
I might have to let go.
That's fine. I got it.
All right.
You can let go.
Okay. Nice.
It's perfect.
Yep, all the way to me. Perfect. All right, and we got our quick drive right here. Jordan's gonna dial that in. Put in the quick drive.
All right.
You like it?
Do I like what?
I guess he does.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
It's perfect.
It is.
Yeah.
I bet I can find another piece for the little one.
For sure.
So it's still gonna be 20 and a half, right?
Not sure. I'll let you know though.
All right. Nice.
All right, let's move down here.
Nice.
Yeah, buddy.
You done over there, dude?
Good.
You ever done a bridge deck before?
Never.
Bridge building is so cool. I love watching bridges being built. How's it feel? Solid as a rock. I love it. I love it. And what a great view. All right, I see you already got the siding marked. So here's the plan, guys. We're gonna follow this line, this pencil line that Jordan drew with the buzzsaw, and remove all the siding between here and here. Expose the zip on the garage, right? Then we gotta find out, where do we put the header? In the garage room, and then we'll know how high we can build our walls and what our roof is gonna look like. So, got my mask, my hearing protection. Let me start removing some siding. Alrighty guys, back on site the very next morning, and here's what we've done so far to plan for today. Now, a couple of things. Architecturally, tying this building into this one presents us some challenges, And we're gonna make it look as seamless as possible. So very first thing, you already know we have a couple of steps. That's gonna be really easy. The second thing is the ceiling detail. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have drywall right here, wrap it around this header. We're gonna come across the bottom, and that's gonna be the ceiling plane for this little connection hallway, right? So that's gonna look pretty good. We do have a challenge over here with this header, but we're gonna address that later. We're throwing around a couple of ideas. Then we'll have a little roof section right here, boom, tying this roof and this roof together. We are using the same shingles on the new roof as the old, so that's gonna blend seamlessly. The roofer's gonna do a great job. So what we're gonna do right now, Jordan and I are gonna kind of divide and conquer. We've already got our measurements for these two walls, the height of our studs, the length of our bottom plates, and the location sizes of our two windows. One big one here, one big one here, exactly in the same spot. He's gonna work on those, and then I was actually thinking about this morning. We should have made this cut right here a little farther out that way, and this one a little farther out that way, because this is the edge of our wall, and we're gonna put zip R on there, which is 1 inch thick. So I need a little 1 inch gap right here. So while Jordan's building the walls, I'm gonna get out the buzzsaw and trim this on both sides. And we also realized I gotta cut that course as well, because the height of our wall gets into this piece of siding. All right, bud, you ready to go to work? Let's do it, let's get some walls up. All right, guys, ready to build some walls. So we've been downstairs at the cut station. We got all our plates cut. Here are our two top plates. Our bottom plates are already in or on the bridge. Here's all of our studs. And come on in here, let's check the layout. We only need 6 studs on each side because we got a big window here. So we got the cripples above, the cripples below. We still got the header to build and the jacks. So I gotta come in here, and I will have to cut out that last piece of siding, and we're gonna nail the zip to our framing right here because we didn't know where this edge was. And then one other little thing we're gonna do, kind of a change of plans. We're not gonna cut this for a 1 inch gap. We're gonna hold the plate back 1 inch and just set our zip right on the sheathing. It's gonna save us a bunch of time, and it's always a detail I've wanted to do anyway. All right, I got the nail gun. Let's put some layout marks done, build these walls. All right, guys, our bridge is coming along. I got our jacks all cut. Let's nail them in. Woo! All right, couple cripples. We're done, right?
Dang.
Let's go, guys. One bridge almost completed. How's it look down there?
It's sick, dude.
It looks great from up here too. Nice job, bud.
Nice job.
All right, guys, the bridge walls are done. We love it, and the neighbors love it. Now, we still have the roof to frame, so as far as that roof goes, we are gonna tie it into the main house roof and the garage roof. Tying it into the garage roof means we gotta remove some shingles, and we don't wanna do that until we're ready to put the roof on this building and they can fix everything at once. So probably like the day before we roof this building, we'll send Rad up there, or he'll be back by then, and that'll go pretty quick and easy, and it's gonna look great tying the two buildings together. What's next for us? We got a couple of companies waiting on some information from us. First one is Pella. They're gonna help us out with the windows on this build. So typically with a window schedule, you would just send them the plans because plans have the window schedule on there. But in true stud pack fashion, we added some windows, we deleted some windows, and we changed some sizes. So Jordan and I are gonna go around, measure all the rough openings, and send an email to Pella today to get the windows started to be manufactured. 4-week lead time, pretty quick. And the other company that's waiting for us is gonna be supplying all the siding and the soffit and the casing for this building. Remember over here, like I said, we built the corner boards. This company has pre-manufactured corner boards, way more efficient for us. We can make one pass around the building, do the casing, do the corner boards, the board and batten, the lap siding, the soffit, one big package, because we have a bank deadline in April and we have a wedding in the backyard in March. So working with this company is going to speed up the process and make us much more efficient. but they need numbers. How many corner boards? How much window casing? How much board and batten? How much lap siding? How much fascia? So Jordan and I are gonna go all the way around the building, make a big list for them, send it off in an email. All right guys, Jordan and I just went around and measured all the roof openings for all the windows, and then I took the plans home last night and just used them to get a square footage for all the board and batten we need, all the lap siding we need, and all the soffit and casing and all the little trim details. Can't wait to put up the siding. So Jordan and I think, along with Rad, we can get the windows in and the entire building wrapped in siding by the end of November. That would give us several months to get the inside finished, so that's our big goal. So that's gonna be a wrap on this video. A big one for us, building the bridge. If you're looking for some Stud Pack merch, I've got some OG stuff on right now, and a brand new cap looks awesome. Bunkerbranding.com, we'll leave a link below. Guys, build a bridge to your like button, smash it for us, then walk back across the bridge and subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber already. Thanks for all the love and support. We'll see you right back here on the next one.